Okay, so gut health. We're all about eating right and exercising.
Mm,
But what about actually knowing what's going on in there? Turns out the answer might be on, well, the Throne. We're diving into Throne,
okay.
the smart toilet camera that's kind of shaking things up in the health tech world.
Yeah, it's certainly pushing boundaries, that's for sure. The idea of analyzing your, let's call it bathroom output for health insights.
Yeah.
I mean, it might seem a little out there at first, for
It
sure.
sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right?
Uh-huh.
But bear with us because this gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Throne claims it can use AI to provide personalized information about your gut health
Mm-hmm.
and even hydration levels
Yeah.
just from a quick glance.
And that's where this whole artificial gut intelligence comes in.
Okay.
This isn't just about like recognizing shapes or anything like that,
Right.
This AI was trained with data from physicians, allowing it to actually detect those subtle variations like in color, texture, even things like specific biomarkers that most of us wouldn't even know to look for.
So while we're going about our business,
Right.
Throne is busy analyzing data.
Exactly.
But that brings up, I think, the big question for a lot of people listening.
Yeah.
Privacy. I mean, are we really comfortable with a camera pointed at, well,
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I mean, understandably, that's everyone's first question, right?
Right.
Like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Throne seems to have really gone to great lengths to address this.
Okay.
The camera itself is designed to only focus on what's inside the bowl,
Okay.
and they use image recognition software that automatically deletes anything deemed irrelevant. It's all about the data, not the view.
So no accidental selfies ending up on the internet, thankfully.
No.
But what about the data itself? Where does all that information go?
So Throne says all the data is encrypted. We're talking TLS 1.2 or higher here.
Okay.
Basically, bank-level security for your,
Right.
your business.
So.
And stored securely on their servers. But here's the crucial part. They're not building profiles on individual bathroom habits.
Okay.
Instead, they're looking at anonymized and aggregated data to identify like broader trends.
So they can tell if there's, say, a citywide stomach bug going around.
Right.
But they won't know it was, my burrito from last Tuesday.
Exactly. They're not interested in your burrito.
Okay, that's reassuring.
They're looking for those larger patterns. And if you're still feeling a little uneasy, Throne allows you to request full access to your own data or even have it completely deleted.
Oh, wow.
You have that control.
So they're giving you the transparency and the options to manage your own comfort levels with this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But before we dive deeper into what Throne can do,
Okay.
I have to ask, where on earth did this idea come from? Was it a group of engineers sitting around brainstorming ways to disrupt, well,
Bathroom time?
bathroom time?
Yeah, I mean, their origin story is kind of wild, actually. Throne actually started out as something completely different, a healthcare staffing marketplace.
Wait, seriously, they went from connecting nurses to,
I know.
well, analyzing what those nurses sometimes have to deal with.
It's quite the pivot, isn't it?
That's quite the pivot.
Talk about a course correction. They had raised $1.2 million from investors.
Wow.
Knight Capital,
Yeah.
Reef Ventures, Hustle Fund, to name a few.
Okay.
But they quickly realized the healthcare staffing field was, already pretty crowded.
Yeah.
So they decided to go in a bolder direction, let's just say. Their CEO was even quoted as saying that their investors were shockingly cool with the change.
That's a leap of faith, both for them and the investors.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder,
Yeah.
what did they see in this toilet tech that made it worth the risk?
It seems that their focus is on two main groups,
Yeah.
the aging population
Right.
and those dealing with chronic digestive issues.
Okay, that makes sense. Those groups often need to stay on top of their health.
Right.
And maybe this makes that monitoring a little less,
For sure.
well, awkward
Right.
or intimidating than some alternatives.
A lot more consistent, too, right?
That's true, yeah.
Imagine if your toilet could act as an early warning system for, like, flare-ups of conditions like Crohn's or IBS.
Oh, wow.
That's a powerful tool to have at home.
Early detection is so key with those types of conditions, too.
Yeah.
It has the potential to, save people a lot of discomfort, maybe even prevent bigger problems down the road.
That's the hope, at least.
Yeah.
But let's get into the specifics a little bit.
Okay.
What exactly can Throne do besides
Right.
Right.
Besides the obvious.
the obvious?
They
Yeah.
called it gut intelligence.
Right.
But what does that actually translate to in terms of, let's say, actionable insights for people?
Okay, so they've highlighted a few key features. hydration tracking, for one.
All right.
And this isn't just your basic, like, did you drink enough water today kind of thing.
Right.
Remember that artificial gut intelligence we talked about?
Yeah.
It actually analyzes your urine, looking for those subtle signs of dehydration that go beyond just how much liquid you've had.
So it's less about counting cups and more about, like, understanding how your body is actually processing what you're putting in.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
It is, and it gets even, I think, more impressive.
Okay.
They also claim to offer personalized nutrition advice
Yeah.
because what goes in must.
Right.
Well, the
The circle of life.
The circle of life, exactly.
But I'm curious, how does Throne connect what I had for lunch with the end result, so to speak?
So that's where the AI really comes into play.
Okay.
By analyzing the composition of your, shall we say, output, it can start to draw correlations between your diet and how your gut is responding.
Wow.
And from there, it can provide, tailored suggestions for dietary changes that might improve your overall gut health.
Okay, so it's like having a hyper-personalized nutritionist,
Yeah.
one who's seen it all, literally.
Precisely. And it doesn't stop there.
Oh,
They also highlight the potential for early detection of urological issues.
okay.
So it's not just about gut health. It's a broader look at your well-being, all from a place we don't usually associate with, high-tech health monitoring.
Right. Who would have thought the toilet would be the next frontier in health tech?
Yeah.
But before we, I guess, get too carried away, we have to circle back to those privacy concerns,
Right.
especially for those of us who share a bathroom.
Right.
What about guests? I mean, that could get awkward fast.
Yeah, that's a very valid concern, especially when you're talking about something as, personal as this.
Right.
But Throne has a couple of features that kind of directly address that.
Okay.
First, you can create individual user profiles that sync with the Throne app on your phone.
So no mixing up data between, roommates or family members.
Exactly.
That's a relief.
Absolutely. And then for guests, the camera actually only activates when it recognizes a known user via Bluetooth.
No.
There's even a recording light that turns on to signal when data is being collected, just to be extra transparent about it.
Okay, that's good to know. They've put some thought into those real-life scenarios.
Yeah, it seems like it.
But let's talk about the bigger picture for a moment.
Okay.
This whole idea of toilet tech, right?
Right.
Is this a sign of where healthcare is headed?
Yeah.
Are we all going to be analyzing our business with AI in the future?
It's certainly a fascinating glimpse into what could be possible.
Right.
Imagine a future where, early signs of digestive issues,
Yeah.
even things like, colon cancer, are caught just by,
Going to the bathroom.
going to the bathroom.
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
We talk about the power of early detection all the time on the show.
Right.
But this takes it to, a whole new level.
Yeah.
It's like your bathroom becomes this proactive health hub.
Exactly. It could shift the whole paradigm of how we approach healthcare, making it less about reacting to problems and more about staying ahead of them.
Right, yeah.
But of course, it also brings up those broader questions about how comfortable we are as a society with technology becoming so intertwined with, let's say, more private aspects of our lives.
It's that classic double-edged sword of innovation, right?
Right.
The potential benefits are huge, but it requires us to rethink some boundaries
For sure.
and really consider what we're comfortable sharing,
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
if it's, anonymized data.
Absolutely. Those are conversations worth having because, Throne is really just the tip of the iceberg here.
Right.
As technology evolves, we're going to see more and more devices that can gather incredibly personal data
Right.
from our sleep patterns to our heart rhythm,
Right.
all in the name of, better health.
So what started as a healthcare staffing platform
Mm-hmm.
has morphed into this, very different kind of healthcare disruptor, right? From connecting patients and nurses to potentially changing how we monitor our health entirely.
It's pretty wild.
Throne's journey is certainly something to think about,
It is.
especially, next time we're,
Contemplating life on the throne.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks for diving into this with us. It's certainly given us all a lot to
digest.
both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's always exciting to, explore these cutting edge innovations
Right.
and just kind of ponder what the future holds.
Until next time, stay curious, everyone. And maybe don't underestimate the power of a good
Bathroom break.
Okay, that's good to know. They put some thought into those real-life scenarios. But let's talk about the bigger picture for a moment. This whole idea of toilet tech, is this a sign of where healthcare is headed?
It's certainly a fascinating glimpse into what could be possible.
Right.
Imagine a future where early signs of digestive issues, even things like colon cancer,
Right.
are caught just by, well, going to the bathroom.
Wow.
No invasive procedures, just data that could lead to earlier intervention and potentially, better outcomes for people.
That's a really powerful thought. We talk about the power of early detection all the time on the show.
Right.
But this takes it to like a whole new level.
It really does.
It's like your bathroom becomes this proactive health hub.
Exactly. It could shift the whole paradigm of how we approach healthcare, making it less about reacting to problems and more about staying ahead of them.
Right.
But of course, it also brings up those broader questions about how comfortable we are as a society with technology becoming so intertwined with, let's say, the more private aspects of our lives.
Right. It's that classic double-edged sword of innovation, right? The potential benefits are huge.
Absolutely.
But it requires us to rethink some boundaries and really consider what we're comfortable sharing, even if it's, anonymized data.
Absolutely. And those are conversations worth having, I think, because, Throne is really just the tip of the iceberg here, right? As technology evolves, we're going to see more and more devices that can gather incredibly personal data from our sleep patterns to our heart rhythms, all in the name of, better health.
So what started as a healthcare staffing platform has morphed into this, well, very different kind of healthcare disruptor.
Yeah.
From connecting patients and nurses to potentially changing how we monitor our health entirely. Throne's journey is certainly something to think about.
It really is.
Especially, next time. Well,
when you're contemplating life on the throne.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for diving into this with us. It's certainly given us all a lot to digest, both literally and figuratively.
It's my pleasure. It's always exciting to explore these cutting-edge innovations and ponder what the future holds.
Until next time, everyone, stay curious. And maybe don't underestimate the power of a good bathroom break.